We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Batalico, Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkan. In a moment, John Kruk from the ballpark. Anything to cheer about from this game? Is there any positive to be taken from this game? Ben, I know you were wondering that. We were waiting to go on for the seventh inning hit. They seem to play without any life. 6-game win streak is gone. Back to 2 games below 500. They have lost the season series to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ricky Bo?
It was lifeless. The offense was stagnant, to say the least. You look at Aaron Nola, he's making mistakes just like he normally does. It was kind of weird because we were getting ready to go on for that 7th inning hit, and I'm just thinking to myself, all right, 3-0, you still got an opportunity. And then, Nola started falling apart a little bit, and then the bullpen was just like, here, I'll just throw a big can of gasoline on that bonfire. Let's see how much it can blow it up. And that bullpen stunk today.
Yeah, after they've been so great. The entire pitching staff has been very good during this span, and not today. And the bats, of course, not a run to be found. 5 hits.
It wasn't ideal, that's for sure. But positive, I think Bryson Stott was a positive. He had, half their hits. He had 3 for 4 today. Drove the ball to left field nicely. But other than that, it was kind of a clunker.
Yeah. When are they going to learn that Freddie, Freeman, and Mookie Betts will destroy you every single time you see them? When are they going to learn? 13 for 26 coming into this series against the Phillies, and it's been no different every single game. I mean, we're seeing them belt the ball around the ballpark, leaving pitches out over the middle of the plate for them, back-to-back home runs last night. When are you going to learn?
Yeah, both, as you said, both homered last night, combined for 3 runs batted in today. Let's go to John Kruk at the ballpark. John, you watched this one today, called it with Tom, and it's a frustrating scene after they've been playing so well. The bats did not get going at all. Take it any way you want in any order you want, but it was a struggle.
It was not pretty, but, look, you got to give the Dodgers pitcher's credit, starting pitcher, Bobby Miller. He was just wild enough to make you uncomfortable. I mean, he threw some quality pitches, of course, but he threw some pitches that weren't even close, and that can't be a comfortable at bat. But, you would think that be able to push a run across here or there, but look, this offense has struggled. Even though they won, 5 or 6 in a row coming into today,
6.
but it's been a struggle. And today they just didn't swing it at all.
John, do you think the contract that's hovering out there is affecting adversely Aaron Nola?
I would say it might affect some. I don't know if Aaron, he's so laid back. How would you know if it affected him or not? He's not going to tell you. And I don't think it affects the way he's trying to pitch this year. Look, regardless, he's probably going to end up with what? If he continues on this path, he'll probably end up with what, 10, 12 wins? What do you think that'll get him? That'll get him a boatload of money. So the pressure, he's going to get his money regardless. I don't think the pressure of playing for a huge contract is going to make a difference to Aaron or not.
John, when you're talking about 2 players with regards to power, average, speed, defense, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, where do you think Betts and Freeman rank all time?
Oh,
in
all time?
1-2 in the lineup.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this is as good as you're going to see.
Yeah, the thing with Mookie's incredible is that the fact that, when he played second base today, we know, he's a Gold Glove outfielder. But he did come up as a second baseman with Boston, but, they had Pedroia, so, Mookie had to go play the outfield, and he turned himself into a Gold Glover. But he is so dang athletic that when you watch him play second, you think, my gosh, this is his normal position. Is he an all-star second baseman? And you have to look at it and say, he probably could be. If he played there all the time, he probably would be an all-star second baseman. If he played shortstop, he'd probably be an all-star shortstop. He's just a phenomenal athlete. And Freddie Freeman, I don't think there's a first baseman in the game today that has Freddie's hands, Freddie's feet, and Freddie's throwing ability. It's just not there. Freddie's the best there is at first base, I think.
John, Betts and Freeman combined 3 for 6, 3 runs scored, 3 RBI. I had some people on Twitter saying, don't pitch to him. I mean, you can't do that every time, but is there a game plan to attack these two that might prove successful for the Phillies?
Well, I don't know what that is because I don't think anyone in baseball's figured out how to pitch to these two guys for what, the last however long Freddie and Mookie have been playing in the big leagues. They've had success every year, it seems like. I don't think they've ever – I think probably this might be one of Mookie's worst years as far as numbers, offensive numbers go, but that's a problem. I mean, what, you pitch around Mookie to get to Freddie? Freddie hits lefties as well as he hits righties. You know, what do you do with do you pitch to Mookie and hope you get him out to pitch around Freddie? I mean, both of them are going to hurt you at some point or another. You just have to limit how much hurt they do to you.
Yeah, last one. Do you see a blueprint for the Phillies with Harper at 2 and, I don't know, take your pick at 1 that could be as scary as those two? Because certainly Bryce Harper can be, whether it's Trey Turner, whether I don't know who you go there at leadoff, but they're pretty good.
I mean, if you wanted to go like match up with Mookie and Freddie, you put Trey and Bryce in there. You got you're pretty much got the same two players.
Hello?
I think.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, but they've started winning games since Kyle started leading off. So, just because today didn't go that way, that doesn't mean that, you're going to just, Rob Thomson's just going to change the line and say, okay, Kyle's not leading off no more. You can't panic like that after just one loss. Yes, it was a terrible loss, but, you got to stick with what you've done. You've won 6 in a row. You just lost today. Okay, so your last 7 games, you're 6-1 with Kyle leading off. He's still got to stay in the leadoff spot because you're winning games with him there. You can't change now.
I hate it when you're sensible. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Johnny.
Appreciate it, John. John Kruk joining us.
That second inning said a lot. The Phillies had bases loaded and a scoring situation. Granted, it's the bottom of the lineup coming up, but he didn't panic. I mean, a lot of younger guys will panic and just leave one out over the middle of the plate.
You know why?
He stuck it to the Phillies.
You know why the Major League Draft will never, ever, ever, ever be an exact science? This guy gets drafted 29th out of University of Louisville. 29th. So you're telling me that the scouts and teams thought there were 28 other players better than him?
Yeah.
And he goes 29th. This guy comes up and just shoves in the big league so far. I mean, it shows you that it never will be an exact science if this guy goes 29th in the draft.
Mm-hmm. When you look at the Phillies' bats and they're supposed to be among the best in baseball, and they failed to be able to do it today against this kid.
First time they ever saw him, too.
Which makes a difference. How about in the playoffs? And they're 2-4 against the Dodgers this season, as mentioned. They would have had a shot, 1-4, 2-4 if they win tomorrow.
The new point is obviously going to be, how are the Phillies playing against teams that look like they're going to be in the playoffs? That's going to be the new talking point out there. I look at this. This is a game you throw directly into the trash can. And you never look at this one again. Because, like you said, the offense was lifeless. Defensively, Ben and I saw the same mistake. We weren't sitting with each other. We saw the same mistake. Base hit out to left field. Kyle Schwarber's trying to throw people out at home plate.
Yeah.
Throw the ball to the cutoff guy. Why let the other runner get to second base? It was Mookie Betts. Why let him get to second base?
Yeah.
It's just simple little things like that.
The throw wasn't close.
Trying to say that Aaron Nola is abusing the clock.
That's why he chucked the ball.
If you watch what he did, he just kind of turns around. He has a ball in hand and just throws it. He never tried rubbing it up. He didn't try doing anything to it.
Yeah.
He had that on his mind when he was walking back to the mound. I'm getting rid of this.
Would you rub up the baseball when you got it? If it was a new ball, you would.
Absolutely.
So could you tell if it was a ball you wanted to discard just by holding it in your bare hand?
You
could
usually
not.
have to have a good feel
And then you
for it.
okay. Well, let's hear what Rob Thomson says. This ought to be interesting. Rob Thomson, post-game clubhouse.
Well, they weren't going to let Nola switch out the baseball because they thought he was stalling for time. And there is part of a rule, and part of the rule is that you're not supposed to delay, or that you could have a violation, but it doesn't specifically talk about throwing baseballs out. Baseballs are all different. They feel different in a pitcher's hand. And plus, sometimes they get slick in the bags. After innings, after 6-7 innings, umpires sweat too. They get a little slick. So I was upset at the fact that they weren't going to let them switch out the baseballs.
Had this come up at all prior to the season as you
About the delays, yeah, but it's not specific about throwing out baseballs.
This is something that a lot of pitchers do.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's not something that he had done a lot this game specifically, correct?
I don't think so. I mean, nobody said a word about it up until today. So.
Are you concerned that an umpire is going to have to judge a pitcher's intent?
Well, I don't know how you can tell whether a guy's actually throwing out a baseball because he doesn't like the feel of it or he's trying to stall. Unless you're a mind reader, I don't know. Kreskin or something, yeah.
What did Bill Miller tell you? Why?
Because he said he was stalling for time.
Do you think that that's kind of vague?
It is. It is. So that's my take on it.
Does it feel like they're sometimes making up the rules as they go?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. But, you know, some of these rules are a little bit vague. So.
Sometimes teams get fired up when their manager gets involved in a thing like that. But it looked like the Dodgers got pretty fired up.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. But I thought, you know, I thought Knowles was better than his line. I thought his stuff was actually pretty good today. Got a lot of swings and misses. He, you know, we got into the seventh there and just kind of fell apart. Hoffey just couldn't find the plate today. He hadn't pitched in 5 days, so he's probably a little rusty.
What encouraged you about Nola today?
The velocity was good, location was good, swings and misses. I thought the breaking ball was really good. And he threw some really good changeups to left-handed hitters. So, again, I think the line was much better than, or he was better than the line.
I know it was just a solo homer, but does it concern you that he's given up at least one homer in 10 straight games now?
Yeah, I mean, the pitch to Peralta, I believe it was, just kind of leaked back over the middle of the plate. And, I know he's been getting hurt by the long ball lately.
Why do you think when things unravel for him, that it happens like very quickly? I mean, in the span of like 4 or 5 pitches today, he goes from retiring 8 in a row to now being behind
You're talking about on the
in the second inning.
in the second inning. Yeah, he gets 2 out. I think he had 2 strikes on Outman, and I'm not sure what the pitch was, but it didn't look like he was really on it, but he barreled it, obviously, to the wall. Yeah, and then a couple of base hits, but I'm not sure what that is. You know, just maybe some lack of execution at the wrong time.
How did Bobby Miller settle in after that second inning?
Bobby Miller?
Yeah.
He pitched good. He's got good stuff. Good fastball, good breaking ball. Good looking kid. Thank you.
What was the explanation? They want you to throw away the ball? Did they give you a reason for it?
Well, I guess so. I guess they didn't want me to throw the ball away. I was feeling it and was walking back to the mound. I was on the grass and the clock had started, so honestly wanted to throw the ball out to get an extra second. I guess they didn't like that. So, you know, it is what it is.
Did you feel like you did it excessively today or for any reason? Or
I don't know. The balls are slick and needed to rub them up. Just like every game, you know, I rub balls up after I get a new one in. You know, sometimes they're chalky, sometimes they're slick, sometimes the seams are bigger than other seams, and sometimes they're smaller. Just depends. And I don't know really how you're supposed to slow the clock down when you're in the windup, because we don't get a step off, and there's times that need to rub the baseball up to get a grip on it.
Has it happened before this season that the umpires like warned you or said something to you about?
No, that was the first time.
To be clear, that ball, you didn't like that ball? Was that it was slick, or what was wrong with it?
Yeah, there were several that I didn't like, yeah.
So you're already dealing with the pitch timer being new, and then if you know you don't have certainty as to whether you can throw balls away, I mean, just how much more challenging does that make it for you in terms of grip?
You know, I mean, trying to focus on the hitter, getting the guy out. That's the main goal. But like you said, sometimes there is times I need a new baseball, and the seams are better than other seams sometimes, so it just depends.
Do you feel like it's kind of unfair that an umpire would judge your intent? I mean, how does the umpire know whether you don't like the ball or whether, you know, because Bill Miller told Rob that he thought you were stalling.
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, how fast he really went the game. So, I don't know. It is what it is, and the main thing is I'm just trying to get the hitter out, and try to win. So I mean, that's the most important thing.
Speaking of the game, how would you assess it, considering?
Well, got away from. I mean, made some bad pitches. Got away from me in the 7th, and a couple of walks, a couple of balls over the middle of the plate.